of Excel Civils Academy. I teach quality and public administration here. So what should be your strategy in these 4 months? So we'll divide the seminar into 2 parts. First part would be taken up by Shashikant sir. He has cleared civil services examination twice in 2018 and in 2019, and he has scored the rank 695 in 2018 and rank 764 in 2019. He is currently serving as an IRTS officer. So he would be addressing the session first. Later I'll take over and we'll discuss in detail as to what should be our strategy. Alright? Great. First, I would like to invite Shashikant sir onto the dais. And you all know Ramarao sir. He is the Academic Dean of NTR Educational Institutions and is a renowned public administration faculty in Hyderabad and New Delhi.
So good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
I welcome on behalf of NTR Trust Group of Education Institutions in general and Excel Academy in particular, Mr. Shashikant, a young IRTS officer. Probably I might have guided him for interview in Narayana if I am not wrong. I don't know. We had a couple of common friends who were there in service, who were there in teaching. These students who were taught by me were also his contemporaries. Basically, they are all from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. One of the person who is teaching science and technology, he was my student in Vajiram. And his cousin was also my student. He is an IITian. He was in Indian Foreign Service. He is there in Turkey, then he went to Cyprus, if I remember correctly. So we had a legacy of the success, especially in my 25 years of teaching tenure. There was no year where the batch was there without some people entering into the civil services. I could continue that tradition. If you see the notice board and the number of students who were there who got into the service, there also our public administration classroom students were there. In fact, I asked him, he was there in training, he said another seminar I will address. This is to ensure you that we are not experimenting anything new on you. The entire program which is devised by the branch head and me, it is a very time-tested program. So we are not doing any experimentation on you. You all can be very safely follow whatever Mr. Shashikant is going to tell and also Akshita madam is going to tell. There will be a lunch followed by another interactive session. This is a small message which I would like to give. I definitely hope that my 2 guest speakers, both Shashikant and Akshita, will agree with me. How to crack prelims with my own observation as a teacher over 2 decades of experience, I can tell you, anyone who strengthens the fundamentals, they will clear prelims. And out of 100 questions, if you can answer 60 questions correctly without guess, you can clear prelims. Sure, I don't know whether they will dispute me, disprove me, or they will supplement my argument. But this is my assumption. polity, economy, geography, history. When I speak of geography, ecology, environment, history, art and culture, polity, IR, plus current affairs. You identify current affairs is a common. If you leave current affairs, everyone has to prepare for current affairs. Anyone who is good in 3 areas, totally 100% perfection, that student will definitely clear prelims. Other things you will be answering because of the teacher's intervention, because of your own subject background, you may answer a few questions correctly. So when we have a scientific method to follow, the results also will be scientific. Mere ambition minus a scientific method will not yield results. So I wish all the best to all the students who are there, both online and the offline, listening to this webinar come seminar. So I wish all the best. God bless all of you. Now I request Mr. Shashikant to address the students. Thank you once again. One minute. Saad is also a gold medalist in rural development. He did MA rural development from IGNOU. He is also a gold medalist.
Thanks for the kind words, sir. Respected Ramaram sir, and the faculty here, and the dear students. So welcome all. And my name is K. Shashikant, and I have cleared this civil service exam twice, as you see there, in the year 2018 with the rank 2695 and then 764 subsequently. So today we are here to take up a session on the awareness for civil service examination. Okay. So before that, first of all, let me congratulate everyone who is here that you have taken such a wise decision at a very young age to prepare for the civil services and contribute to the national development. So cheers to everyone and a big round of applause for everyone. At a very young age, you have decided to take such a great step, which means a lot for the country and as well as for you and your family. Okay. See, as sir has rightly said, any strategy or any effort without a right strategy goes into vain. Okay, so it has to be a mix of both strategy as well as your efforts. So my discussion here will be basically into 3 sections. I'll divide the whole session into 3 sections. First, I have 2 PPTs. One is on the awareness session on civil service exam. Second is through my experience of UPSC and other exams, I have cracked multiple jobs. I must be getting like 7-8 jobs till now. So I'll tell you what helps you to crack any exam, what it takes. Because what I personally feel is that it is in your mindset. If you get your mindset right, everything else will fall in place. Okay, I will deal about that in the second session, and then the last will be an interactive session where you can ask me anything that you want to know. Okay, shall we proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, basically when we speak about the civil service exam, I just want to take you into a bit of background. Look at this image. Can anyone say what does this image signify? Anyone? One. Please raise your hand. See, don't worry. I hope everyone is comfortable in Telugu. Yes. So, tapu cheppina parledu. But again, you try to attend. What do you understand by this?
That showing the position of bureaucrats.
So, whom Prime Minister is actually, wishing here? Who is the person sitting and who is the person standing? So he is an IAS officer. Basically, he is the district collector of Varanasi, who is a returning officer. So the district collector will be the returning officer for the Lok Sabha elections. So here you can see the head of the nation, the Prime Minister of the nation, is actually saluting where a bureaucrat is sitting. So you can here understand the value of civil services. Here you can understand the value of civil services. Okay, because out of these two, the person standing, that is the political head of the nation, is just a temporary post, because they come once in 5 years and then they go. The person who is sitting there is a permanent executive, that is a bureaucracy or we call it as the civil services, who is a permanent executive who will be coming here, will be staying for 25, 30, 35 years and then they leave. So here comes a proper synchronicity and a proper understanding between the political executive and the permanent executive. So I wanted to show this image just to show what is the value of civil services. Is that clear? Now, see, let me just go into a brief background of civil services. I am not teaching you anything, okay? This is not a history class, okay? Feel free. And see, when Britishers came to India, the main motive of Britishers was to exploit India, okay? And to collect as much revenue as possible. And how to collect such revenue? They have created a post called as district collector. So the present day district collector is nothing but previously in the British era, he was revenue collector. Okay, and then the British found that. So, and then what happened? District collector was collecting the revenue for a long time, and then the British felt that there is a need for maintenance of law and order organization, law and order. They brought in the policing system. So that's how you can see the civil services started as the British organization, basically. So the Indian civil services today, what we are seeing, is nothing but a British legacy. Okay, it has been continued from the British. I don't want to go further into it and teach you anything about history and public administration. So let's keep it to the basic. So what happened? Scenario after 1957, 1947, we had independence. Okay, and then we went to the model called as ICS, Indian Civil Services. Okay, so there was no specialization. There was nothing called as IAS or IPS. So initially we continued with this ICS, and then in 60s we went to a present model where we have divided into multiple models of AS, PS, RS, etc. That is administrative service, police service, revenue service, railway services, etc. Okay, so that's how the civil services has evolved from long time. So you can say this is a very old institution. So that's why at times we say that this is colonial legacy, or we are under colonial hangover, because this is something which is coming from the colonial times. Next, 21st century civil services. See, everyone here, we are in 21st century, okay? And 21st century civil services is completely different from what we have seen previously. Can anyone say, without looking at that, what is the difference between the 21st century civil services and the previous civil services? Anyone? Have some guess. Blind guess. Don't worry, nobody is going to judge you.
Technology.
Yes?
Now we present the technology.
Wonderful. So now there is more emphasis on technology. Yes? Somebody else was speaking.
Theft of question paper.
Theft of question paper. No. That cannot happen in civil services. Next, anyone?
District collector was only assigned to collect the revenue, but today he's gone under various ministries.
Wonderful. So now the role of collector has gone through a different shift now. Okay, paradigm shift. So where previously he was only a collector of revenue, today there is, the role is much more than what we are seeing. Anyone else? So to keep it very briefly, you can just see here. Now there is shift towards being facilitator rather than regulators. 1991 we had LPG reforms, as you know. Okay. So after LPG reforms we are no more regulators. We are trying to facilitate. Government is present only to facilitate. Now it will not stop you to do anything. It will facilitate you. If you want to do something, government will help you. And who is going to help you? Not the political authorities, rather than the civil services or the bureaucracy. And now we are moving towards specialization. There is a debate called as generalist versus specialist, not required. So, but we are slowly moving towards specialization. That is, the government is feeling that we should have more subject experts. Okay, so slowly we will be seeing reforms in the further coming periods as well. And then moving beyond just implementation of schemes. Now, the role of civil services is not just implementation of schemes. It is much beyond. You try to find some problem and try to find a solution, not just implementation of the schemes. Much more. And then technology as center of operations. Bureaucracy is becoming technocracy. Bureaucrats are becoming technocrats. Okay? If you take any scheme today or any operation of the government, it is centered around technology. You take direct benefit transfers, you take online training, you take whatever it is. Okay? Everything is monitored by technology today. So that's how you can see there is a shift from the old book rule to technological rule now. And then new pathways emerging for civil services, not just the old ways of service, new pathways are also emerging. And then politicization of civil services is one thing, which is a worrisome product. But again, there are many things, that civil services can do. Even then, when there is politicization. Okay, next please. Now, we'll come to the scheme of examination. So, see, whenever you look at the civil service examination, it is present at 3 levels. The first level is called as a preliminary, mains, and the personality test. Okay. Here I use the word exam, and then here I am using it personality test, because they are going to test your personality. So now, can anyone tell me why do we have 3 levels of exam? Why? Why can't we directly have a personality test and select somebody whom you want to check, or whom you want to select? Why do we have all the 3 levels?
Different subjects there.
Okay. Next.
First they started with the shuffling. So many lakhs of people, aspirants, first prelims. After the evaluation of the paper, their writing skills. After they are checking the personality test.
Wonderful.
Is it suitable or not?
Very good, very good. See, basically, it's all about number game. If I have to just tell you briefly how big the number is for civil services. Last year, 11 lakh people, they applied for the exam. 11 lakh. Out of which, roughly 6 lakh people, they appeared in the prelims examination. 6 lakh, they appeared in the preliminary examination. And then, roughly 12,000, they appeared in the mains examination. Which means, out of 6 lakhs, only 12,000 people have cleared this exam. Okay? And from this 12,000, roughly 2.5k, they cleared the mains and they went for the personality test, or we call it as an interview. Okay? Next. Out of this 2.5k, roughly 800. Roughly 800 to 900, they have finally cleared the exam. So look at the scale. It started in lakhs, okay, came down to thousands, and then came down to just few thousands, and then came into hundreds. So, in order to filter out or bring out such great number, you cannot directly put up personality test for everyone. Okay? So you need to filter basis by basis. Okay? And how do you filter them? What is the basis for filtration? First, we will have an objective examination, because the numbers are big here. So, here we will have an objective test. We will give them questions, 100 questions in paper 1, 80 questions in paper 2, and we will ask them to write the exam. Whoever is clearing this exam will be giving admit for mains, and then in mains we will ask them to write answers. That is subjective, descriptive test. And then whoever has cleared it, now the numbers have come down to such a lesser level, we will ask them to come, and then we will take the interview. So that's how the numbers have reduced, and that's how we have 3 levels of exam. Okay? But again, I'll ask a simple question. Do you think the demand of the exam in all these 3 levels is the same? I repeat my question. Is the demand of the exam in all these 3 levels is the same demand? Why or what? Then what is the demand in the preliminary examination? What is the demand in the mains examination? And what is the demand in the personality test? We'll try to see that. First of all, preliminary test. See, if you look at this test, basically it's a test of knowledge. See, most of the senior aspirants and all the rankers would agree with me that civil services preliminary examination is a test of knowledge. That is, you'll be given 100 questions, you'll have to write whatever you know. Okay? And see, the question paper is very peculiar. That you will be asked with a question, and then you are given with 4 options: A, B, C, D. Now, why do I say it's a test of knowledge? You can only attempt it if you have right knowledge. Yes? You can only attempt this question if you have right knowledge. So that's why I am using the word prelims is a test of knowledge. It's simply, do you know it or do you don't know it? If you know it, attempt it. If you don't know it, leave it. So that's how they are going to test your knowledge in the preliminary examination. And then it's an objective examination, as I have told you. And then there are 2 papers here. Paper 1 is called as a general studies, and paper 2 is called as a CSAT. Okay, Civil Services Aptitude Test. And paper 2, is it scoring or is it a qualifying paper or is it a merit paper? It's only a qualifying paper. Okay, 33% marks you should be getting in this. Okay, but don't take it lightly. I have seen many people, even rankers, who are writing again. They failed in civil service exam, civil services aptitude test. Okay, so don't take this lightly. This is a very dangerous paper. It might look that you have to score only 33%, but you understand. But 66.66 out of 200 is going to be a big thing. I have seen multiple aspirants, very serious aspirants, many rankers who appeared again, they failed in the CSAT examination. Okay, so don't take this exam lightly. This is going to be a game changer for everyone. Okay, and then we have paper 1, general studies, all the subjects, as you know, polity, history, economy, geography and all. Okay, so one line to sum up what is the demand of prelims. Prelims is a test of knowledge. Here they are going to test you across various subjects. What are the subjects that you know? Do you know geography? Do you know history? Do you know sociology? Do you know society, etc.? Here they are going to test all these things. Next, when it comes to the mains examination, this is a very important exam because you look at the numbers. 12,000 people are writing mains, and all the 12,000 are equally competent. Okay, so which means that in the 6 lakh who are sitting for the prelims, you can see that the real competition is only between 5 to 10% people. But when it comes to the mains examination, the real test is here because all of them have qualified the exam. Okay, they have been proved that they have good knowledge about the subject. So now it's a competition between equals. Okay, it's a competition between equals. Whoever is going to prepare well for the exam by knowing its demand will clear mains as well. We'll try to see what is the demand of mains here. Demand of mains, knowledge. Again, see, civil services exam and it's an exam of knowledge everywhere. But again, in prelims we were only tested on knowledge. Here, along with knowledge, multiple aspects are being tested. What are those multiple aspects? Knowledge, that is depth and extent. What do you mean by depth and extent? How much you know, how much deeper you know about a subject, and how many subjects do you know? Do you know polity, geography, economy, world history, Indian history, etc.? Do you know how deeper these subjects are? Or do you just know the basics of the subject? If you know the basics of the subjects, you will not be able to answer such any question which is deeper in nature. So they are going to test your depth, your knowledge in depths. Next, analysis of events, situations or issues. Mains exam is all about analysis. Take this from me. If prelims is test of knowledge, mains is about analysis. How do you analyze things? How do you analyze things? How do you look at things? And what is your perspective about various things which are happening around you? Getting it? So that is tested in mains. And then mains, you are tested on multi-dimensional thinking or analysis. Are you going to think in a multi-dimensional way, or are you only thinking in one perspective? That is very important because the answer to any issue in the society is a multi-dimensional solution. If I ask you simply a simple question, how do you eradicate poverty? How do you eradicate poverty? Anyone? Come on.
We give the good education system.
Education. Good.
And after that, we have to give to the well-known skills. What they have the special.
Education, skills. Next. Others. Employment. Wonderful. Next. Somebody was saying. Schemes by? Okay. Schemes. Next.
Population control.
Population control. Very good. Next.
Development in agriculture sector.
Development in agriculture sector. Agricultural development. Next.
Development in rural areas. Development in rural areas.
Rural development. So you have taken my subject, rural development. Next.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure, very good. Next. Next. Somebody was speaking.
It starts with hunger, so proper TDS system.
Proper?
TDS system.
TDS.
TDS.
TDS. Public distribution system. Good. Next. Others? It's okay. Last, no response.
Proper management of FCL.
Proper management of FCA, okay, you can include that in PDS. Next, feel free, don't worry. Where వాళ్ళు ఎవరు లేరు ఇక్కడ, మనమే ఉన్నాము. Anything else other than this? So now, when I ask you about how do you eradicate poverty, how many dimensions did you touch? Education, skills, employment, schemes, population control, agricultural development, rural development, infrastructure, 3 years. Is this a multi-dimensional solution or a unidimensional solution? Multi-dimensional solution. If I replace the word poverty here with education, how to improve education? Now, the solution for improving education, is it a unidimensional solution or a multi-dimensional solution? Okay. If I again put up with this with women empowerment, how do you empower women? What is the solution? It's a multi-dimensional solution. So, this multi-dimensional thinking is what is tested in mains. Whenever you write an answer, the examiner is actually not reading your answer, he is reading your mindset. What is your mindset? అసలు ఈ అమ్మాయి ఎలా థింక్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఓకే, మీరు మల్టీ డైమెన్షనల్ గా ఆలోచిస్తున్నారా లేదా, లేకపోతే మీరు ఒకే దగ్గర స్టక్ అయిపోయి ఉన్నారా థాట్స్ లో. దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు టెస్ట్ దిస్. సో ట్రై టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ దట్ ది సొల్యూషన్ ఆర్ కాజెస్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ మల్టీ డైమెన్షనల్ ఇన్ నేచర్. Okay, so that multidimensionality is what is being tested in your answers. So take it for granted that whenever somebody is reading your answer, they are not actually reading your answer, they are reading your mindset, they are reading your thinking process. Getting it? Next, good presentation. Yes, if you ask me what is, introduce yourself, there is a proper sequence. I would say what is my name, is so and so, I studied from so and so, and I say, if I start saying that I studied in some college, my father name is this, my hobby is this, I don't tell my name. Is it a good way of introducing? No. So that is, we need to have good presentation. Whenever a question is given, you have to present it in a proper way. So we have a model called as IBC model, that is intro, body and then conclusion. So we need to introduce the topic, put up the body and then conclude properly. So that is a sequence in which you have to write your answers so that it will properly present your case and then you can fetch maximum marks. Next, time management. See, I can say this is the worst exam where you can manage your time. We have 20 questions in the mains. I hope everyone knows this. In GS mains, we have 20 questions. Do we have a choice? No, we don't have a choice in the GS mains exam. Except for the option, we don't have a choice. So ikkada you are given 20 questions and you have to write 20 questions. Even if you know it, even if you don't know it. Rayalsindi tappadu. So, and how much is the time you are given? 180 minutes. 180 minutes for 5 minutes you will go on for bubbling anta untundi. Okay? So, the rest is 175 minutes. 175 minutes, 20 questions. Okay? Roughly it comes to 10 minutes at last. Not even 10 minutes. 9 or 8 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes. But again, trust me, what happens when you write mains is, for the first time, my first answer you write it for 15 minutes. Okay, trust me, you write it for 15 minutes. At 15 minutes, rasin tarvata you will feel that 15 minutes and the next question bar aadam anukoni, you will take another 15 minutes. So half an hour you end up writing only 2 questions, where you should have been actually writing 4 to 5 questions. So that's how somebody who has prepared well for the exam will also fail in the mains exam because they are poor on time management. Okay, so time management is something which is very, very essential. Okay, and I must tell you, the time management anedi randomly raadadi. Okay, you have to manage it from your preparation days. Getting it? So as an aspirant, when you are sitting here, you need to manage your time properly. Okay, let's say for example there is something called as 80-20 rule. I hope anybody, most of you will agree with me that మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే when we start reading something, we'll put 80% of time for only 20% of the topic. First 2 chapters ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, we'll spend almost 80% of the topic. Then we'll realize we are running out of the time and then we'll use the rest of the 20% for 80%. Getting my point? So అలా అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? Equal distribution of time. Okay? Let's say for example you have 2 topics to read, you have 1 hour. ఏం చేయాలి? హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ ఫర్ వన్ టాపిక్. మనం ఏం చేస్తాము? 50 minutes for one topic and last 10 minutes for second topic. So that is poor time management. You should never be doing that. Okay. So as a serious and sincere aspirant, you should be practicing time management from day one. Okay. If you have whenever you have a target, try to achieve all your targets on time and properly utilize your time, because this is going to change completely your fate. I have seen many people, many of my friends failing in the mains exam utterly because time management. And I can tell చెప్పాలంటే నేను ఒప్పుకోవడానికి I don't have any inhibition. They are much talented than me. Okay, వాళ్ళు నాకంటే ఎక్కువ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉంది, but again they failed miserably in the exam, terribly in the exam, because they were poor on time management. In the given 180 minutes, they used to hardly write 14 to 15 questions, which means that they are leaving 5 to 6 questions per paper. అంటే 50 to 60 marks they are leaving per paper. అర్థం చేసుకోండి. If you are leaving 50 marks per paper, you cannot clear the mains. Okay, so it's a test of knowledge and as well as time management. So learn time management from day one. Okay, manage your time properly, be punctual on time, and then comprehending capability or capacity. See, I hope everyone is reading Hindu newspaper. Yes. So you read editorials as well. Yes. And boring, very big editorials. So చదివినప్పుడు చాలా బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది, చదివిన తర్వాత ఏం చదివామో తెలియదు. ఓకే, సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మూవీ ఓన్లీ, జస్ట్ లైక్ ఇంటర్స్టెల్లార్ మూవీ. చూసినప్పుడు చాలా బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది, దాని తర్వాత ఏం అర్థమైనా తెలియదు. సో ద పాయింట్ ఈస్, whenever you read something, always try to comprehend it. What do you understand by the term comprehending? That whenever you read something, try to bring it into few words or few lines. Let's say for example, మీరు ఒక హాఫ్ పేజ్ editorial చదవాలనుకోండి, you should be bringing down it to 4 or 5 points. 4 or 5 lines to whole story ni summarize cheyali. Yes, ఇప్పుడు whenever you go for a movie trailer చూస్తాం కదా, ట్రైలర్ ఏం చెప్తుంది? It gives a overall picture of movie. Yes, అంతే, ట్రైలర్ చూసి మన మూవీ ఎలా ఉందో చెప్పొచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్ టైం మూవీ చూడాల్సిన అవసరం లేకుండా ట్రైలర్ చూసి you understand what is the whole thing. In the same way, the whole article should be summarized into a trailer. Once you read anything, ఒక 1 page చదవాలి, 2 pages of editorial చదవాలనుకోండి, you try to comprehend it, which means that try to bring down it into few lines and try to prepare that in your own words. మీకు ఏం అర్థమైంది అనేది you try to write down it at some place. Okay, and that need not to be in the words of the editorial. ఆ editorial ఉన్న words లోనే రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. మీకు ఏం అర్థమైంది అనేది చాలా బేసిక్ words తో రాయండి. And one thing which I have to tell you very openly and frankly about the mains examination or civil services overall is, this is not an English exam. Okay, this is not an English exam. We are not preparing for PhD English or MA English. This is a general studies exam. Okay, general English వస్తే చాలు. Okay, foreign English రావాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, and flowery English రావాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, హైఫై వర్డ్స్ యూజ్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. Okay, ఇక్కడ జాబ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత we are not going to work as English professors. We are going to work as civil servants. ఫీల్డ్ లో ఉండాలి, పబ్లిక్ లో ఉండాలి, కాబట్టి బేసిక్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తే చాలు. సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళలో if somebody is having that inferiority, that నాకు ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదు, or I am poor at English, I have medium English, అంటే it's okay. I am telling you very frankly and openly, అది అంతే చాలు, దానికంటే ఎక్కువ అవసరం లేదు. బికాస్ మీరు ఆలోచించండి ఒకసారి, ఇక్కడ జాబ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మీరు ఏదో యూనివర్సిటీలో ఇంగ్లీష్ ప్రొఫెసర్ గా పనిచేయడానికి వెళ్తారు కదా, you'll be going as an administrator, as a bureaucrat, where your responsibilities and duties are different. Okay, you are not going to teach English. So కాబట్టి basic conversation level English వస్తే చాలు, where you are able to converse with the other person. And రాని వాళ్ళు don't worry, pick up Hindu newspaper regularly, చదువుతూ ఉండండి. Okay, and try to speak in English. And see, when you speak in English, మీకేం కాదు, ఆ పెయిన్ అంతా వినే వాళ్ళకే కదా, let them other person take the pain కదా. Why are you worried about that? Okay, so కాబట్టి whenever you want to speak in English, you try that, it's okay. Next, problem solving approach. See, this is very important. Problem solving approach is very important. Why? Anyone? Problem solving approach is one of the demand of mains examination. Why? Anyone?
Because we are supposed to.
Solution.
Yes, please.
Because we are supposed to do that in our profession.
Okay, wonderful. Yes.
ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది, దానికి దానికి సొల్యూషన్ అనేది ఎలా ఇస్తున్నావు అనేది బేస్
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. ఎందుకంటే ఫీల్డ్ లో మీరు వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత అక్కడ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఇంకేం ఉండదు. ఓకే, ఎవ్రీడే దేర్ ఆర్ మల్టిపుల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కమింగ్ అప్. సో హౌ డు యూ అడ్రస్ దీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, హౌ డు యూ come up with solution to these problems is what is important. So there will be some questions in which this mindset is tested. అంటే ఈ అబ్బాయి or ఈ అమ్మాయి does he or she has that problem solving mindset ఉందా, లేకపోతే ప్రాబ్లమ్ వదిలేసి పారిపోయే మైండ్ సెట్ ఉందా అనేసి they try to see. Once you know that this boy or girl has this problem solving approach అనుకుంటే definitely they want you. Okay, they will never reject you. So kabatti whenever you have some problem, whenever you see some problem, you always try to think in terms of providing a solution. Let's say for example మీరు NTR ట్రస్ట్ ఫైట్ కెళ్ళారు, ఎన్నప్పుడు you see that there is huge traffic problem, so దాని గురించి ఏం చేయొచ్చు అనేది ఆలోచించండి. ఓకే, you go somewhere, then you will see sewage lines వాళ్ళు ఏం చేయొచ్చు అనేది విత్ ఇన్ మీ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ లో you try to understand what can be done అనేసి. ఓకే, and then go to some other place, you find some problem, అక్కడ ఆ ప్రాబ్లం గురించి ఏం చేయొచ్చు అనేసి keep thinking in that way. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ positive attitude and pro-poor approach. Why should we take pro-poor approach? మనం civil servants కదా, మనం bureaucrats కదా, మనకెందుకు pro-poor approach?
Because they work in lower level, ground level.
Wonderful. See, the appointment to civil services per se is to serve the public. Okay, make it very very clear that the appointment into civil services is very very clear that you have to serve the poor of the nation. Okay, and Gandhiji talisman, anyone knows what is Gandhiji's talisman? Gandhiji's talisman, I'm asking Gandhiji's talisman, not Zinda talisman. Okay, anyone knows what is Gandhiji's talisman?
India lives in the village. India lives in the village.
Okay, see Gandhiji talisman lo em cheptarante basically any decision, whenever you are in doubt to take a decision, see that whether your decision is going to help the poorest people of the nation. ఏదైనా డెసిషన్ తీసుకునే ముందు యూ థింక్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ యూ ట్రై టు రీకాల్ ద ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ అ పూరెస్ట్ పర్సన్. ఆ పర్సన్ కి మీరు చేసే డెసిషన్ అనేది ఆయన లైఫ్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేస్తుందా లేదా అనేది చూడండి అని చెప్తారు. సో దట్ ఈస్ హౌ వీ హ్యావ్ pro-poor approach. Tomorrow whenever you become a civil servant, you take a decision, try to keep this in mind that మీరు తీసుకునే ఆ నిర్ణయం వల్ల పూర్ కి వెళ్ళిపోతుందా, రిచ్ కి వెళ్ళిపోతుందా. ఓకే, ఆ పూరెస్ట్ పర్సన్ లైఫ్ లో మనం ఏదైనా చేంజ్ తీసుకురాగలమా అనేది you have to think about it. Okay, so this is the overall demand of the civil services mains examination. And one more thing, I have used this term positive attitude. Why positive attitude? Endu test chesar positive attitude? Yes,
To test the patience.
to test the patience. Okay, but enduku?
Because there are various issues and we need to respond it positively.
Very good. So there are various issues and you have to respond to them. See, government has limited resources. Corporate lo unnanta resources government lo undavu. You are always on the crunch of resources. So kabatti within those limited resources, how you are performing? Okay, in order to perform you need to have a positive mindset, positive attitude. Getting it? So that's how positive attitude is very very important in government. Lekapothe em avutadante you will be easily frustrated because of the work culture adanta. Okay, next. Now, mains examination, there are 4 papers, just an overview. We have 1 essay paper, okay, and then 4 general studies paper. GS1 consists of history, geography, society, Indian geography, and post-Indian independence, etc. And then we have GS2 politics, social justice, constitution, international relations. And GS3 we have economy, environment, security issues, science and technology, etc. And then GS4 we have ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Okay. So GS4 paper, personally it's my favorite paper. Endukante this is a paper which will teach you much more about yourself. అది చదువుతున్నప్పుడు you will get an opportunity to understand yourself. ఇప్పుడు let's say for example, I never knew that. I tell a small incident. My hometown is nearby Shadnagar. So whenever I used to go from Hyderabad to Shadnagar, I used to travel through bus in my intermediate and engineering days. So whenever I used to see some old woman or a pregnant lady standing and I am sitting, appudu I used to offer them seat. Endukante for me it's only 1 hour nilabadta ayipotadi, let them take seat. I never knew that it can be called as compassion. I never knew that it can be called as compassion, or it can also be called as empathy. మనం ఏమనుకునే వాళ్ళము హెల్పింగ్ నేషన్ అనుకునే వాళ్ళం, బట్ then this is specific term which is called as empathy and compassion. So today I know that I had the compassionate approach since my school days or college days, whatever you call it. Okay, so this paper will help you understand what you are actually. Okay, మీరెవరు, what is your value system, మీ attitude ఏంటి, అసలు మీకు ఏమొచ్చు, మీ ఎమోషనల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ ఎలా ఉంది, how do you look at things. Okay, so అందుకు whenever you are going through this fourth paper, don't take it as an academic paper. Don't take it as academic paper. Feel free to take it as a very very practical paper. Okay, own it up. అది మీ సొంత పేపర్ లాగా తీసుకోండి. See, ఇక్కడ హిస్టరీ, పాలిటీ, ఎకానమీ ఇవన్నిట్లో మనమే పెద్ద చేసేది లేదు. ఓకే, ఉండే చదువుకోవడం. బట్ ఈ పేపర్లో యూ కెన్ బి యాక్చువల్లీ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, యూ కెన్ రైట్ అబౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, యూ కెన్ సే అబౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. ఇక్కడ దేర్ ఇస్ ఎ హ్యూజ్ స్కోప్ ఫర్ యూ టు షో టు ద ఎగ్జామినర్ వాట్ యూ ఆర్. గెటింగ్ మై పాయింట్? అసలు మీరెవరు అనేది ఎగ్జామినర్కి చూపించడానికి జిఎస్ స్కోర్లో చాలా స్కోప్ ఉంది. Let's say I give a small example. If tomorrow there is a question on compassion అనుకోండి, I write this example that I used to have this compassionate approach towards the old woman atla. Getting my point? So this one paper of GS4 is your own paper. So study it not for academic purpose but rather to understand yourself in a better fashion. Okay? And then we have two optional papers, whatever option you are taking, anthropology, public administration or political science, whatever it is. Okay? There are two papers. So in total there are these 7 papers and then we have 2 languages. What are the 2 languages? English and Telugu. Any language. English is mandatory and then Telugu, we take it Telugu or somebody who is from other language. 8th schedule of 22 languages unnai kada, andro nunchi you can pick any language. Okay? Next, we'll come to the personality test. The name itself says personality test. And we are not testing this personality, we are testing this personality. Okay, so what is the personality of a person? Asali person enti, XYZ. Now it has come down to this level kada. We have only 12,000 people who have cleared the mains. Okay, and then we have come down to this level. 2.5k or 2500 2600 ఎంతో మంది ఇప్పుడు మెయిన్స్ క్లియర్ చేస్తున్నారు. They will call to UPSC and interviews happen only in UPSC. UPSC భవన్ ఉంటుంది న్యూఢిల్లీలో. Interviews happen only in New Delhi. Prelims and mains happen across the country. Interviews will happen only in the UPSC భవన్ of New Delhi. Okay. So ఇక్కడ there is a 5-member panel. So there will be 5 members. There will be 5 members who will be sitting. So the seating order will be like this: is the chairman, member 1, member 2, member 3, member 4. This is like a table. So chairman or chairwoman. And then you sit here. Okay, so you enter, you sit here, and then there's a board here who is ready to shoot questions at you. Okay, so simple ga before entering into the hall, so if you presume this as a entry into the hall, oka pure vastadu, oka pure vachi sir meter vachi run sir antaru. So appudu తీసుకెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే ఒక మేక తీసుకెళ్తారు కదా. So it will be something like that anamata. So full of anxiety, ఏ బోర్డ్ వస్తుందో తెలియదు. So there are rumors, ఒక బోర్డ్ మంచి మార్క్స్ ఇస్తుంది, ఇంకో బోర్డ్ యావరేజ్ మార్క్స్ ఇస్తుంది, some board is tough అనేసి. So this is the interview setup. You have chairman and then ఇక్కడ you have to sit and then you will be roughly given 30 to 45 minutes. 30 to 45 minutes ఉంటుంది. 30 to 45 minutes లో they'll ask you questions. Okay, they'll ask you questions, మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేస్తారు. And ఆ 30 to 45 minutes ఎట్లా అయిపోతుందో కూడా మీకు తెలియదు. What you remember is going in and next thing you remember is coming out. ఆ 30 to 45 minutes ఏమైతుందో మనకు తెలియదు. There will be 5 members shoot చేస్తూ ఉంటారు questions like rockets. You'll be, somebody who is capable will answer them, లేకపోతే they'll fumble. So ఇక్కడ the point is, what are they going to test? See, వాళ్ళు questions అడుగుతున్నారు, they'll ask you various questions, you'll be answering them. So అందులో ప్రతి వాళ్ళు how do they detect our personality? For any word that you are speaking, for every word that you are speaking, it is speaking about your personality. Okay, how do you speak, what do you speak, how do you respect others, are you rude towards others, are you humble towards others? If there is a question, let's say for example, if there is a question on Pakistan, how are you answering it? If there is a question on any recent failure of Indian police system, how are you answering it? మీరు మీ కంట్రీని అప్రిషియేట్ చేస్తున్నారా లేకపోతే మీ కంట్రీని తిడుతున్నారా? మీ కంట్రీ మీరు లవ్ చేస్తున్నారా లేకపోతే కంట్రీ వేస్ట్ అని అంటున్నారా? So all these answers will be tested in the personality test. So briefly I have to tell you, if you look at this, these are the traits that they are going to test. See, whatever I have written here, this is not from UPSC, this is, I gave 5 interviews till now. This is from my understanding. All my 5 interviews, this is what I have learned. What they are going to test in the personality test, they are going to test your honesty, truthfulness and open-mindedness. Truthfulness, see, I tell you few experiences, like, when you go to the interview test, make even listen that you have to answer each and every question because he never question than question. But that is not the case. You have to be truthful and very honest. If you know something, say I know. If you don't know, tell them I don't know. Okay? In one of the interviews, I was asked randomly how, explain the operation of RO, reverse osmosis. I was like completely blank. So then I said, sir, I don't know. He said, you don't know this also? I said, yes sir, I don't know. But I'll go back and check it. I'll go back and learn about it and get better. So what did they get from my answer? That I am being honest. Our level of sitting in that chair, I am also speaking very honestly and very truthfully that I don't know something. And see, greatness always lies in admitting something, not in defying. I said that I don't know, which means that I am open for improvement. That is what they have learned about my personality. Are you getting it? But rather you are telling me very honestly that this is my quality of being honest and truthful. If I don't know anything, I admit it. And I also know, and I answer I am also showing them what is a clarity. I am a man of clarity because I know what I know and I also know what I don't know. So, what is the personality that you are seeing? That he is a man of clarity. Yes? Next. Sincerity, humbleness and humility. If they ask you something then be very humble. Thank you sir, no sir. So are you rude to your seniors? Are you humble to your seniors? How humble you are? What is the humility that you are showing? This speaks a lot about your personality. Okay? And then well developed and balanced personality. See, balanced personality is something which is very, very important for civil services. We cannot have somebody who is very random or somebody who is very fickle-minded. We need to have a balanced personality. Okay? Let's say for example tomorrow you are in an important position and somebody says Pakistan lepedam antaru. You should not be someone who can be saying that man chesedam. Okay, you should have a balanced personality and see whether it is feasible. Is it practical? Is it feasible? Is it my country house? Will it help my nation? Will it develop my nation? You have to look at all these things. That is what is a balanced personality. Okay? And then good human values like compassion, tolerance, brotherhood, helping nature, etc. Avanni telisipotayi. Okay? If you speak for 35 minutes to seniors, they'll be able to understand what your personality is, what is your talent, and all that. Okay? And then your belief in laws and constitution. See, constitution is such a sacred document. Each word you should be actually owning up. So, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, unity, integrity, fraternity, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీరు ఇంబైబ్ చేసుకోవాల్సిన వాల్యూస్. అంటే మన దేశం ఇలా ఉండాలి అని మీరు ఇంబైబ్ చేసుకోవాలి. Okay, you should not say నేను ఈ రీజన్ మీరు ఆ రీజన్. We have to believe in one thing, that is India. Indianness అనేది మన వర్డ్స్ లో, మన బిలీఫ్ లో, మన థాట్స్ లో కనిపించాలి ఎప్పుడైనా. Okay, that is expected. You should not say that Telangana is greater than India or Andhra is greater than India. This is not the approach. India is India, that's it. There is one India, we are all Indians. Everything comes later. From which region, which language, everything comes later. For us only there is one thing, that is India and Indianness, which holds all of us together. Next, your belief in laws and constitution, patriotism, nationalism and love towards your country. Can please show me one country which is completely perfect? Is there any country which is completely perfect? Yes? No. No country is perfect. But love what your country is. Be grateful for what the country is giving to you. అవి మీ మాటల్లో అక్కడ తెలుసుకోవాలి. That you are somebody who is loving your country and who is where country is giving you a lot and what you are contributing to the country. So that is much more important. So that should be reflected in your talks in the interview. And then dedication, commitment to public service. Ultimately, whoever is entering into civil services is coming only for public service. Nobody is coming here to earn money or something. That comes later. Salary expect cheyakunda evaru job cheyaru. But again, that comes at second or third level. Primarily, it is about public service. Because if you want to earn money, there are many other avenues where you can earn a lot of money. But again, somebody who wants to come into civil services is coming only for public service. And then depth of knowledge across various fields like graduation subject, current affairs, etc. Interviews, basically they'll ask you questions about your whole life. Let's say for example, I studied in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. So many times questions are being asked to me about what is the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, what is the scheme, what is the difference between Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya and Kendriya Vidyalaya, and how did Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya help you to shape your personality, and ilanti questions are there. Okay, and hobbies gurinchi there are many questions. So suggestion to everyone is try to pick up a hobby. Okay, try to pick up a hobby, whatever small it might be. There are many hobbies. And నాకు mock interviews attend అయ్యే వరకు తెలియదు that there are so many hobbies. One of my friend had a hobby of coin collections. One of my friend had a hobby of stamp collection, stamps. So there are many such hobbies. One of my friend had a hobby of writing in different ways. And he can write in some 26 or 27 ways. Okay, so try to pick up any hobby that you like, because there will be many questions on hobby. My hobby was cooking, so there were many questions for me for cooking. And I'll tell you one small incident. In one of my interview, they were asking a question. So there was one member, Kavalani, he was trying to poke me to see ఆయన అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్ కి నేను ఎలా రెస్పాండ్ అవుతున్నాను. Then he has asked me, see, your hobby is cooking. So being a male, మీకు సిగ్గు అనిపించట్లేదా కుకింగ్ మీ హాబీ పెట్టుకోవడానికి అన్నారు. Okay, అంటే see, his question is not wrong, but he's trying to see how do I react to the question. Getting my point? So I said just తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే, సార్ తినడానికి లేని సిగ్గు వండడానికి ఎందుకు సార్ అని నేను. Isn't it? Yes కదా. And there is no sacred document which said that only women should be cooking. Okay, so cooking is everyone's job. తినడానికి లేని సిగ్గు వండడానికి ఎందుకు సార్ అని నేను. See, this is simple plain life, but go into the depth of this. ఒకసారి అర్థం చేసుకోండి what am I trying to convey through this. Yes, ఏం కన్వే చేస్తున్నాను ఈ ఆన్సర్ నుంచి? దట్ ఐ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ ఈక్వాలిటీ, ఐ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ ఉమెన్ ఎంపవర్మెంట్, ఐ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ నాన్ ప్యాట్రియార్కీ. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ అంటే మీరు మాట్లాడే ప్రతి మాటకు దేర్ ఇస్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ యువర్ పర్సనాలిటీ స్పీకింగ్. Getting it? So that's how this personality test of this 30 to 45 minutes will make them understand what you are, what your personality is. Okay, so try to shape your personality from day one. Try to improve your personality day by day. Have a good hobby, pick up good hobbies, and take up that hobby. It will be a good stress buster as well. Okay. And next, what is the formula for success in this exam? See, based on my observation, I have tried to bring it down to this level. That is, know the syllabus clearly. So మనలో చాలా మంది ఏం చేస్తామంటే సిలబస్ వదిలేసి ఏదో చదువుతాం. And we'll study what is not required rather than what is required. And we keep saying that అరే ఎంతో కష్టపడుతున్నాం, we are working hard అనేసి. So don't do that. Know the syllabus very very clearly. So there are two best friends for us in this preparation. Two best friends are number one is syllabus, number two is previous year questions. Okay, so always have these two best friends. What are the two best friends? Number one, syllabus. Number two, previous year questions. Okay, so these are two best friends. Always have them. And then follow previous year questions, syllabus. Two best friends, and then take mock tests. Join some test series, take mock tests that will show what is your level of preparation. And then revise multiple times. See, I keep telling, saying it to multiple, friends that read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books one time. What is the difference? If you read one book 10 times, you will revise it easily. There is a high chance that you will remember everything in your mind. But what happens when you read 10 books only one time? ఏది గుర్తుండదు. ఓకే, సి మామూలుగానే ఏది గుర్తుండదు, అట్లానే 10 బుక్స్ ఒక్కసారి చదివితే అసలే గుర్తుండదు. అండ్ ట్రస్ట్ మీ, ఒక బుక్ 10 సార్లు చదివిన తర్వాత సగం గుర్తుంటుంది, సగం గుర్తుండదు. ఓకే, యూ రీడ్ 100%, యూ రిమెంబర్ 50%, యూ గో టు ద ఎగ్జామ్ విత్ 25% memory, యూ విల్ రైట్ ఓన్లీ 10%. But again, imagine a reverse situation where you are reading 10 books only for one time. It's a clean bold. Okay? So, revise multiple times, have minimum number of sources. Minimum sources, maximum revision. This was my funda always. Have short notes for all the topics and then limit your sources. If somebody has told you that quality is a Lakshmikant book, that's it. Okay? You are not going to do PhD in quality. You are going to only read it about for civil services prelims and mains, So కాబట్టి limited there. Okay. Now, see, having told you about all this, let me also as a civil servant and a bureaucrat, I tell you what civil services offers you. See, మనం ఎప్పుడు కూడా దాంట్లోకి వెళ్ళాలని చూస్తున్నాం కానీ అసలు అవతల నుంచి ఏముంది, what civil services offers you అనే దానికి from my perspective. See, whatever I have told you till now, this is my perspective. Okay, I am again open to suggestions, open to correction. Okay, one is space to work. It provides for a scope to work for public as a public servant. Okay, always don't forget that you are a servant ultimately. You are not the boss. You are the servant. You are a civil servant or a public servant. Okay, so always be very very humble that you are a servant only. You are not the boss. Next, to be a role model. Once you enter into the civil service, you can be a role model. Okay, you go places, you meet people, you inspire people. Okay, many people look up to you. Then, be an agent of change. Wherever you go, you can work in such a way that you can be an agent of change. Bring change. Next, good salary, obviously. Is there anyone who wants to work without salary here? Without salary? How do you lead your life then? See, for now I understand your idealism, but practically everything that you work should always you should get something in it. Okay, good salary is very important for life. Perks and benefits from the government. You have many perks and benefits. That if you are in services, you get good quarters, good accommodation, and you get personal vehicle and personal bodyguards and all this. That's a different story. And then ability to influence people's lives. Wherever you are working, మీరు చేసే చిన్న చిన్న యాక్షన్స్ ద్వారా పబ్లిక్ లైఫ్స్ ని మార్చొచ్చు. One signature of you can transform complete village. Okay, and then bring change in their lives. And then fame, good name to yourself and your family. Obviously, everyone wants to get good name. And then work in various departments and organizations within and outside India. Okay, being in the services, you can start somewhere and you can go anywhere. And if, for example, I am the railways now. I started in railways. Tomorrow I might end up in anywhere. Tomorrow I can come to Telangana, work in Telangana Secretariat, work in the Telangana CM, or else I can go to the central government. I can work in the Prime Minister's office. Tomorrow I can work in the shipping department, or then I can work in the highways department. ఎక్కడ పని చేయాలంటే అక్కడ పని చేయొచ్చు. So that is the level of competence that you have to gain. ఒకసారి ఆ కాంపిటెన్స్ వచ్చిందనుకోండి, you can go anywhere and you can work anywhere. అంటే అంత స్కోప్ దొరుకుతుంది మనకు పని చేయడానికి. And then public love and affection. Ultimately, whenever you are in civil services, you interact with people, you influence people's lives, and you will get a lot of affection from the public. I will show you next one. I will speak about all this. So look at this. This is one thing which has always inspired me. John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Okay? So దేశం మనకు చాలా ఇచ్చింది. So ask yourself, మనం దేశానికి ఏమి ఇవ్వచ్చు. Being civil servants, you should always question yourself. మనం దేశానికి ఏం చేయొచ్చు. Next. And look at this. So he is Mr. Armstrong Payne. So Mizoram cadre IS officer. So what his greatness is that without any government support, he has built a 100-kilometer road through public support and public funding. Okay. So that is what a civil servant can do. Getting it? So unconnected village now gets a road, 100-kilometer road. So అర్థం చేసుకోండి. What will be the impact on the village from now? Look at this. Honest officer victimized. Beed is a district in Maharashtra. Collector transfer ananduko, people are protesting. Can you believe this? Collector transfer చేసినందుకు people are protesting. ఎందుకని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేశారు? We want that collector. I say. Public love and affection. Do you agree? Yes. So when you work honestly, this is what you get in return. That people will love you a lot. You'll get a lot of affection from the public. So they become your family. So అలాంటప్పుడు they never want to lose you. So that is the kind of affection that people will give you once you come into services. And look at this. This was again Mr. D.K. Ravi, Karnataka cadre IS. He passed away. He committed suicide, but people were not happy with that. So people were protesting and they were expressing their love for him. An officer passed away for his own reason, but again public came in. Public are feeling very sad for this. This is a kind of love and affection that public have for civil services. Next. I have few questions to you. Okay? Rather than you asking me question, I'll ask you question. First of all, see, these questions ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న 3 questions you don't answer it now. But you think of these questions daily. And there is no single answer for these questions. I'm telling you again. My answer might be different, your answer might be different, her answer might be different, your answer might be different. But again, write down these 3 questions and try to answer these questions daily. మీకు మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేసుకోండి ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్. రైట్ డౌన్ దీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అండ్ వన్స్ యూ రైట్ డౌన్ దీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ స్టిక్ దెమ్ సమ్వేర్ ఇన్ యువర్ రూమ్. ఒక పెద్ద పేపర్ లో రాసుకొని స్టిక్ దెమ్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఆన్ యువర్ వాల్ ఇన్ ద రూమ్ అండ్ యూ ట్రై టు ఆన్సర్ దీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్. What are the 3 questions? Number 1, why do you aspire to join civil services? అసలు మీరు సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎందుకు రావాలనుకుంటున్నారు? Number 1. Number 2, what value would you like to add to the civil services? అంటే మీరు సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ కి ఏం కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు? Number 3, why should UPSC select you? మిమ్మల్ని UPSC ఎందుకు సెలెక్ట్ చేయాలి? మీరు అలాంటిది అసలు ఏముంది UPSC మిమ్మల్ని సెలెక్ట్ చేసే అంటారు? Everyone? Done? So these are 3 questions. If you are serious about civil service exam, you try to answer these questions. And I am telling you, every day your answer will be shaped up. And you can sharpen up your answer. Today's answer will not be your answer 1 month later, 6 months later, 1 year later. So you try to answer these questions. The 3 questions in your room lo gaani mee hostel ikkadane you stick onto the wall and you try to answer every day. Ask yourself, why civil services? Why do you want to join civil services? Okay, think deeper, go into multiple layers deep down into your mind and you try to answer this question, why do you want to join civil services? Okay, and then what value would you add to the civil services? Meeru civil services ki em contribute chestaru? Third, why should UPSC select you? మీ దగ్గర అలాంటిది ఏముంది that UPSC will select you? These are 3 questions and answer to these questions is not constant, it keeps changing with your evolvement. మీరు ఎట్లా అయితే ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎవాల్వ్ అవుతూ ఉంటారో మీ ఆన్సర్స్ కూడా అట్లా ఎవాల్వ్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ ఐ హావ్ అనదర్ PPT which is a very important PPT. Say art of clearing competitive examinations. This is I'll take less time, but indulo I'm going to speak something about not for civil services but in specific civil services kaakunda I speak in general. What is the funda that is required to clear any exam? Okay, how your preparation has to be. So these are the few exams that are cleared. Campus placement, Infosys, GATE, Steel Authority of India Limited, Navy Legal Corporation, SSC, CGL, IBPS, P1, NABARD, Civil Services 2019 and 20, okay, etc. And this is not to boast about myself. Idantha na venkala undi kabatti I am speaking about this. Okay, with this credibility I am speaking. Next. Now, see, essential elements which are needed to crack any competitive examination. అసలు ఏదైనా కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ క్లియర్ చేయాలంటే మనకి ఏం కావాలి? నెంబర్ 1, యూ షుడ్ రైట్ స్ట్రాటజీ. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ స్ట్రాటజీ? యాజ్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యు, మినిమం రిసోర్సెస్, మాక్సిమం రివిజన్స్. సో ద సేమ్ ఫండా, read 1 book 10 times rather than reading 10 books 1 time. Next, know your enemy better. See, when you go to a war, when you go to the war, you always do not only focus on yourself, rather on the opponent as well. Okay, you always focus on your opponent as well. Okay, so we have this quotation is that if I have 6 hours to chop down a tree, what I do for the 4 hours I will be sharpening the axe. That is preparing. So here try to understand that, know your enemy better. So you try to understand who is your enemy. See, here I am not saying that UPSC is your enemy, don't take it literal sense. I am just saying that you better know your enemy and then you will win the war. So understanding the syllabus and the demand of the exam, which you have seen previously. Next, planning. You study smartly. See, hard work, gone days. It's a day, this era is an era of hard work and smart work. Okay, so do smart work and study smartly, revise regularly, and then keep yourself motivated. Okay, and then always have a right attitude. How to build that right attitude? I'll tell you next. Next, demand of the exam. See, there are various exams which have multiple demands. All the exams do not have a single demand. Let's say, for example, if you have bank exams have a different demand, where within the given time frame you have to maximum solve the problems. And then state services have different demand, technical exams have different demand, civil services have different demand. We have seen what is the demand of civil services already. Next one. What is the strategy which is required? For civil services especially, I am saying this, fix your targets. Always go for weekly targets and achieve them. Daily targets, weekly targets. Okay, in a day, let's say for example you have target, you have put up a target that you need to go for 6 pages or 7 pages in a day, complete the target. Okay, and offer something for yourself as a victory, as a as some gift for your victory. Next, refer to standard study material, revise, revise and revise. That is the only solution. See, I hope nobody is a chitty over here. Yes? Everyone is like me only, who tend to forget things. Yes? See, very frankly I am telling you, it's very easy to forget. It's very difficult to remember. So what is the key to remember? Revision. Only when you revise things, it will be easily remembered. And if you leave it, you will never be able to remember it. Okay? And then, make and follow timetable. Always have a proper timetable. Okay? Have a good routine in a day. And then visualization is power. Google it. Whenever you want, you try to Google it. At least use internet from now for right reasons. Okay? All these days we have been using it for wrong reasons. Use it for right reasons. Google it. When you don't know anything, you try to look into Google. Look at this Google images, which is very, very powerful. And then have right attitude. Right attitude is a key to success. Positive frame of mind. Always be very positive. Okay? What will happen tomorrow? You don't know. See, there's a mindset called as Zen mindset. Anyone, what is this Zen mindset? Yes? What is this Zen mindset? Anyone? Zen mindset is living in the present. Okay? Not worrying about the past and not feeling anxious about the future. Live in the present. Only when you do things right in the present, you will not be anxious about your future. Don't worry about the future and past. Live in the moment. Do things what you have to do now. See, let's say for example you are sitting in the class. What is your duty for the next this 1 or 1.5 hour? Listen to the session properly and get maximum benefit. If you are sitting here not attending the session, you are worried about your past or you are dreaming about something in the future. What does it serve? Will it serve any purpose? No. So believe or live in the present. Always live in the present. Be in the moment. That is called as Zen. Okay? Be like a Zen mindset. Always live in the present. Do what is required at this time. Positive frame of mind. Create interest in what you study. If you are not feeling interested, make it more interesting. Draw some diagrams. Make a flowchart, something like that. And then forget that you forget things. What do you understand by this? Forget that you forget things. Which means that, see, I met so many people that the common query is that, sir, I tend to forget. I tell them that I tend to forget. You come tomorrow, I ask who are you. That is my memory. So always believe that you forget things. It's okay to forget things. Okay? And we are not going for any memory test. We are going for civil service examination. And with revisions, trust me, things will better. Things will become better. Okay? Now, see, look at this. Believing your subconscious mind. There's something called your subconscious mind. Okay? So Telugulo chinna medalu pedda medalu whatever it is. So that subconscious mind is very powerful. Okay? When you look at things, the subconscious mind will provide you the content at the right time. That's why our parents whenever we go to the exam, what is one common that your parents will say? Don't worry, you'll remember everything in the exam. That is because of your subconscious mind. So believe in your subconscious mind and power of your mind. Next, control your mind, or else it roams like a free horse. Control your nerves. So hold on to your thoughts. Control your nerves. Okay? Control your brain. Or else brain is like a wild horse which keeps running. You have to control it. And this is the right age and the stage where you have to control your thoughts. Or else life becomes very difficult thereafter. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So it's okay even if you don't have talent. If I can clear this exam, anyone can clear this exam. Trust me. That is because even if I don't feel I'm talented, hard work is what has helped me. To become what I am today. So you can also become like that. Say yourself that I will win. All is well. So keep telling yourself all is well. All is well. Next, see, this is one statement which has greatly influenced my mind. Okay. The mind is everything, what you think, you become. And this is a wallpaper which I have even in my iPad even today. That the mind is everything, what you think, you become. And this is my iPad's wallpaper, my MacBook's wallpaper, Infloma PC wallpaper, everything is the same. Because it keeps reminding us what your mind can do. This is like positive reinforcement. So the environment around you should be very positive always. And how do you make your environment positive? By having such quotes around you, such beautiful people around you, good people around you. Okay. Next, attitude. Your attitude determines your direction. See, direction is very important. In which direction you are going. Okay. I believe in direction rather than speed. I don't believe in speed. I believe in direction. What does it mean? Going in right direction is very important rather than going with high speed. If you go with high speed, you might end up in a wrong direction. With less speed, I am okay with less speed. But what I am more concerned is about the direction. I should go in a positive direction or a proper direction. Accept what you are, work on your weaknesses. See, nobody, I am 100% sure nobody is 100% strong. Okay? For me, even I have some weaknesses, I am also working on it. So, go focus on your weaknesses and work on your weakness. Focus on incremental changes. Don't say that tomorrow morning I will become world champion. Okay? This will never happen. Don't say that in one night you will read the whole textbook. That will never happen. Focus on small changes, incremental changes. Today I will do 10 papers. Tomorrow I will do 12 papers, 14 papers, 16 papers. Incremental changes. And next, be positive always. And then meditate, do yoga to calm down your mind. This is the right stage for you people, who are listening to this and sitting here, that you are at the right age where you can control your mind. Okay? So do yoga or meditate yourself to calm down your thoughts. Sky is the limit. Attitude must be there. Have big goals. It is said that having small goals is a sin. Okay? So trust me, with the kind of environment that you are provided, always believe that sky is the limit and aim for the sky. Have good role models and learn from their sources. This is very, very important. Have good role models. A role model is what you are basically. If you have bad role model, you will also become a bad person. So always have good role models. For example, my good role models is to be my father and APJ Abdul Kalam. So I have read everything about APJ Abdul Kalam till now. Okay, and my father passed away when I was 18 years old. So then Vivekananda became my role model. I used to read a lot about Vivekananda. Then it has changed my mindset completely and come out of my loss that my loss happened in my family because of my father's demise. So have good role models. Your role models will dictate your mindset. Getting it? So read about them, discuss about them, and then the recent addition to my role models is MS Dhoni. Whenever I am in a bad situation, I keep thinking, if MS Dhoni is in this situation, how he might react to it, because he is captain. What is Captain Cool? So how does MS Dhoni think? How does MS Dhoni operate? So I should always try to emulate him. So you try to have your own role models and try to think how do they do things and how you should also learn from them. Next, never give up attitude. That is called as never say die. Never give up, whatever the situation is. And then patience and perseverance is the key. Use technology for right results and don't compare yourself with others. Always say apna time aayega. Okay, so definitely you will have your own time. Apna time aayega. Next. Now, see, look at these two people. Who is this? Any similarity? What is the common element between them? Both of them served as US presidents. But when did Barack Obama become president? When he was like 40s. He was 40 or 41. He retired at 48. Because as you know, any person can become only US president for twice. 2 into 4 years. 4 years is one term. So he retired at some 48 or 49. But this guy, this dude, when did he become president? He was at 70. So when everybody gave up hope, 70 is like giving up hope. Then he became the president of US, the powerful nation of the country. So 48 this person retires, 70 this person starts. So what did Trump say here? Apna time? So that's how he said. So don't compare yourself with others. Everybody has their own time zone. Okay? Barack Obama retired at 55 when Trump started 70. Everyone has their own time zone. So wait for your time and trust yourself. Don't just wait. Trust. And then keep preparing. Never give up. Next. Whenever there is a bad patch of life, very rough patch, always say, these two shall pass. Enno vachne enno poyne, idi kuda potadi. Okay? So these two shall pass when you are in a negative phase of life. Next. And this is something which you must be seeing since your childhood. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So always have a proper plan. Next. See, these are success may be delayed but cannot be denied. So your success may not become this year, so next year or the next year. You just wait for your right time. 7 P's of success. How do you get success? Have positive attitude, prepare well, plan well, practice well, and then have some patience, strive for perfection, and then be passionate about what you are doing. Next. And this is called as the iceberg illusion. So iceberg on the top you can only see one small iceberg, that is success. But what you don't see under beneath it is all this big. So as a student of geography, it is said that this is 9:1 ratio. What you see is only 10%, but what is under the sea is 90%. So here what you see is only success, but what is behind it or beyond it? Persistence, failure, sacrifice, disappointments, discipline, hard work, dedication. This is what is not seen. But again, the sad thing is you have to go through all of them to become this. Okay, next. Next. See, this is something which is very important, what Lincoln has said. If I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. How do you connect it to yourself? If you have 1 year to the exam, don't waste to write the exam. Rather practice more. Okay? The more you practice now, the more you practice in the field, the less you build in the battle. That is, if you practice now, you will see more failures. If you see failures now, it's okay. Because failure always gives you opportunity to improve. Okay? So this is very, very important. Plan properly, prepare properly, practice as much as possible. Next. See, being an admirer of MS Dhoni, I cannot go without this reference. What does MS Dhoni says? Youngsters are so result oriented nowadays that we actually forget about the process. That we forget about the process. The process is more important than the results. And if you take care of the process, you will get the result. But what is happening in today's life? Are we focusing on the process or result? We are only focusing on the result. 80% ratri first rank raవాలి. Whatever the case might be. Yes? But how do you come to that point without any practice? So, process, result. Which comes first? So ideally, this is number 1, this is number 2. But what we are doing? We are giving it number 1 and focusing on process later. Will it work? No. So, process will give you results. So, focus on the process. Go through the process clearly, understand the process clearly, feel the process, enjoy the process, and then come out with good results. And the same is also replicated. How many of you have watched this movie 3 Idiots? Good. So what does Amir Khan say in that movie? Success के पीछे मत भागो, excellence के पीछे भागो. Success झट मार के आएगा. So what he is saying basically? Process excellence. So try to excel in the process. Result will be a byproduct. So this is what MS Dhoni is also saying. So what is the learning from this? That you have to focus on the process, not on the result. Okay? So do the process right. Next. Next. See, what is greatness about this person? Who is this? Okay, God of cricket is okay. But what is his record? Yes? 100 centuries. Is it reached by anyone else? No. So, 100 hundreds is his record. So, in one of the interviews, Sachin was asked that, how did you do this? How did you plan to, score 100 centuries? And the simple answer Sachin gave us, I never planned. It just happened. I never planned. It just happened. Somebody is saying, I know. But trust me, what he said is absolutely right. Sachin Puttagam and that have to do 100 centuries and he excelled in the game. He went through the process. So there is an approach which Sachin says that take one ball at a time approach. That is, while playing, he will never focus on the result. He'll never focus on how many runs he has made or how many runs he is going to make. He'll just focus on ఒక బాల్ వస్తుంది దాని మీద నా ఎనర్జీ అంతా పెట్టాలి. If it is a loose ball, I hit it to a sixer. Okay, it is a good ball, I hit it to the four. If it is an excellent ball, then out అయిపోతాను. That is how he used to focus. So that is called as one ball at a time approach. The same is applied to you as well. Live in the present and focus on what you are doing. Don't focus in the past or don't be in the present. Don't be in the future. Be in the present. Back like Sachin. Ball is coming to you. Focus on it. Getting my point? Next, when you want something, all the universe conspires into helping you what you have to achieve. So Paulo Coelho, Alchemist book. Everyone knows this. Next one. Success is never final. Failure is never final. It's the courage that counts. So the greatness lies not in failing or in success, but the greatness lies in attempting something. That attempting is very, very important than anything else in life. Next. So exam preparation. See, I just summarize this. Exam preparation consists of two things. Exam preparation is only one thing, that is keep studying. That is only 50%. I would say the rest 50% is practice. Study, practice for the exam. Next. Revision is the key. What do you understand by the word revision? What is the meaning of the word revision? Revision, which means see it again and again. See, human memory is etched into this photogenic memory. That is photo memory. That you see, you tend to remember what you see. The movie Drishyam. It is such a success because it is based on this thing. That what you see, you will believe it or you will remember it. So if you see something multiple times, you tend to remember it. That is the key to revision. Next. Now, see, this is not very scientific. The graphs are just byproduct, and this is not something which I have made it. See, this is your class. Okay, just like what is happening. This is the time period after the class. 10 minutes, 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month. This is how much percentage you remember. Memory. What happens is immediately in the class you tend to remember the maximum. Class okay. If you don't remember, what will happen? With time, it goes down. Which means that after 1 week, if you ask what did sir say, sir okay. So that is it. But if you revise it, you can actually maintain it for long time. So this is this remembering curve. So with multiple revisions, you can see that you will remember many things when you revise things a lot. Getting my point? So what is the key from this? Revision is the key. Next, memory boosters. See, I have been telling you that we feel that many times we feel like we don't have proper memory, or are you okay? We feel like that we don't have good memory. So try to boost up your memory. How do you boost up your memory? You can see visualize information. Whenever you see something, you try to visualize it, and then use acronyms and mnemonics. For example, if you have to remember 10 points, what I will say, what I will do is pick up the first alphabet, make it a mnemonic. Okay, this I do even now. And then use image name associations. So for every name, try to connect it to an image, so that easier to both of them. And then use the chaining technique. You try to form it as a chain. If you have to remember 5 things on one day, you try to form these 5 things as a chain. That will help you to remember things. And then learn by doing. If you want to learn something, do it. Connect the information to do something that you have already known. You have to remember things. So, and say the information out loud. When you say something louder out, you tend to remember things. And then understand the information fully before you try to memorize it. Teach other people. Let's say, for example, if you want to learn some topic, call your friend and explain them. That is the best way. Next. I'll give you a small thing. Look at this. How do you improve your memory? By seeing it. Next. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. So, when you do things, you understand things. Next. Now, see a small exercise for you. What is this? Sustainable Development Goals. How many goals do we have? 17. Does anyone know all these 17? Will you try? So I will tell you a small technique how to remember this. Next page. See, 1. How to remember? I'm just giving you a small, this technique I have devised it and I have taught many of my friends. Etla guర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలని. Number 1, you have to remember 1 to 17 కదా. I'm just giving you for few of them. Number 1 is poverty. How can you say somebody is poor when they don't have 1 rupee? Again, 1 rupee is poverty. What is number 2? Hunger. Hunger ఎట్లా పోతుంది? 2 minutes to Maggi. 2 minutes Maggi is hunger. Next, what is 3? Health. So health part చూడాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? 3 రోజులు. Okay, 3 రోజులు 3 is hunger. Next 4 is education. So education is the 4th layer. కనిపించే 4 సింహాలు. Okay, ఆ కనిపించే 4 సింహం కావాలంటే how? Education. Next 5 is gender equality. So gender equality లో 5 Pandavas, 1 Draupadi. Gender equality? Yes? So that is 5 Pandavas plus Draupadi is gender equality. And then you look at 6. What is 6? Water and sanitation. పొద్దుగాల 6 గంటలకు. Okay? Sanitation. Okay? Yeah. And then how do you remember 7? 7 is electricity. 7 o'clock you switch on your lights. Okay? And 8 o'clock you go to the work. That is 8 o'clock is economic work. So that's how you can remember things. Getting your point? See, this whole exercise is to help you understand that things which seem like impossible are also possible. Getting my point? These are the various techniques that you have to use. This technique I have, I wasted a lot of my time remembering all this 17. Then I have found it that this way you can actually remember things. Getting my point? This way you can actually remember things. Let's say for example, 10. 10 is reduced inequalities. 10 rupees. Remember it as 10 rupees. 10 rupees lekapothe it is inequality. Getting my point? So that's how you can remember. For example, 16. 16 is peace and justice. 16 prayam. Okay? 16 years of age is peaceful. So in this way, you can actually remember many things in your life. The point here is that if you really want to understand things and remember things, you will find a way out. Okay? Or else you will only find excuses. Okay? So next one. Yes. So civil service system I have already discussed the previous one. The whole value from this is that if you want to seriously remember things, you can remember things. Try to find out somewhere. Initially, it might look like very cheap, but again, see, however cheap it might be, ultimately it has to fetch you marks. ఎట్లనైనా చేసి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడం ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎలా గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటే ఉంది? Isn't it? ఆ 3 రోజులు అయితే 4 రోజులు అయితే. Okay? So this is the point and this is the end of my session. Now I am open to take questions. If you have any questions, we'll go for it. And see, మళ్ళీ అదే చెప్తున్నాను. Okay? Be brave enough to ask questions. No question is stupid question. The greatest failure is not asking a question. Okay? Don't worry about others in your in your class. అసలు వాళ్ళు క్వశ్చన్ అడగట్లేదు, which means you are actually greater than others. Okay? So take up a question. If you genuinely have any question, you can ask me. Okay? Please.
Note making process.
Yes.
Notes making.
Notes making. See, notes making is a very very important activity. What you can do is like take various A4 sheets. Take various A4 sheets. I mean, you are asking for current affairs.
Whole of syllabus and
Yes.
subjects. Whole preparation, sir.
Whole preparation. Okay. See, for current affairs, what I would suggest is take out a A4 sheet and then divide one A4 sheet for one topic. Let's say for example, health. Health is one topic, na? Health ki put a A4 sheet and you keep continuing it. One page, add another page. So that's how you can take up one topic per notes and arrange them accordingly to the GS paper. Let's say health falls under GS2. So GS2 must be at one place. Okay, that's how you can do it for all the current affairs. And for your general syllabus, there are few topics for which you don't need actually making any notes. For example, polity Lakshmikant is one. If you want to make notes of Lakshmikant, you will write another Lakshmikant. Okay? Why do you want to waste your time? And the time with Vedman. So So kabatti don't try to make notes for each and every topic. There are only few topics for which you have to make notes, or else follow the standard sources. But while you are reading, try to highlight those important points. And while you are revising it, you try to pick up only those important highlighted points. Okay. Next.
What is your option?
Who is that? Yes.
Option.
My option is anthropology. Yeah. Yes, next. Others.
So some are not eligible for this year UPS, for writing UPS.
Hmm.
So generally what question the answers what's next? So like preparing for UPSC is good or going for university, having any.
See, I would suggest go for higher education, but in a distance mode. If you are able to manage with college as well, that's also good. Having having PG is also a good thing. No? It adds to your academic value. I realized it 4 or 5 years after my graduation, and then I started doing my MA. Okay, so you can do that as well. But with the amount of knowledge that you gain with the civil services preparation, you can actually write any exam. I tell you my experience. I did MA in rural development, and I don't know which subject to which I was going to write. I just used to go write whatever I know because of the civil services knowledge, and I used to write in a very beautiful way. I used to take 2-3 pens, and I used to write very properly, put some diagrams, flow charts, maps wherever it is required, underline them. I used to write this is the most beautiful paper. So that's how I scored some 94% in the PG. The second ranker had some 73 or 72. So I was shocked. I said, please check once again, is this my marks? Then they said, no sir, this is your marks. So people who are not writing exam, you can do PG or you can do simultaneously as well. Having additional qualification is always good. Next.
What strategy will you?
Please raise your hand first. Yes.
What strategy you follow while preparing for?
Strategy. Whatever I told is a strategy.
I mean, did you follow any challenge or for news connected? Did you follow any challenge?
No, we used to follow only the Hindu newspaper. Okay, and Hindu newspaper which if possible make some notes and pick up some current affairs magazine like Vision Eyes or something, or any magazine if your academy is providing, and revise them properly. Okay, don't try to make notes of Hindu elaborately, or else again you write one more Hindu paper. Next.
How to develop your thoughts and thinking process?
How to develop your thoughts and thinking process. Read more and think more, and the more you read, you will get, itself generates more ideas, and keep discussing with others, your friends, like-minded people, that will generate more thoughts about it. And listen to some good talks, that will also help. Read some good books on any topic, it will broaden your mindset. See, you get good thoughts when you broaden your mindset. And how do you broaden your mindset? Reading, seeing, thinking.
What kind of books apart from?
It depends on in which area you want to go. Let's say for example, I started reading a new book called Atomic Habits. So it is to develop habits. Okay, and I have read this book called as Sapiens. If somebody is interested, you can take this book called as Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This is also a good book where it will teach you something about how did evolution happen. So that is giving you very minute information. So that will deepen your thoughts. It may not take some time to come out to that, but then keep reading during that time. Okay, and discuss with your friends. Next.
What do you prefer sources for anthropology?
What is?
What do you prefer sources for anthropology?
See, the sources for anthropology is very elaborate. It varies from chapter to chapter. I can share a file which is present to your management. You can take one. Next. Yes. That's it. Hungry? Yeah. Just before that, anyone? Any question, please? See, I am undergoing training. Same e time ki ma situation lo elana untade. That eppudu velltaro. But again, make sure that if I am here, try to make maximum utilization. If somebody has some serious doubts, let's take it, or else we'll call it a day. Let's come. We'll call it a day. Anybody till then?
Lot of them are in dilemma because
Developer?
PG or to choose MBA, right? both the things.
Mhm.
If we go to MBA, it's like off track for UPSC.
Yes,
If we go
yes.
to PG, it's like on track. So
Mhm.
what do you prefer? Like, they're very few.
See, that depends on your personal choice because, please. I understand your hunger. Okay, just give me 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. So, regarding your question, MA versus MBA, see, it all depends on your personal choice. If you feel like tomorrow you want to venture into another field, then MBA is a good option. But again, if you stick to civil services, then doing some PG is also a good option. Okay, so it depends on you. So, sit for some time and think what is the direction that you want to take in your life. If you feel like taking this UPSC path only or state civil services as well, then MBA is a good option. If you feel like after some point of time, if you want to, and see, these MBAs which we do from local colleges, you know, what is the quality. If you are very serious, then think for something else. Doing, some IM or some B school. Okay? Whatever you do, try to do it in a grand way. Don't limit yourself. Next.
To study when you don't feel like studying or working.
Yes, yes.
How to focus when you're not able to study or work.
See, if you are not able to study at all, if you don't feel like studying, give it up for some time. Take a break and then bounce back. See, there is a recent finding which says that you cannot focus for a long time. There are people, for example, I can sit for 3 hours in one stretch without any distraction. There are people who take often breaks. So try to find what is your personality. If you are a person who is going to, wants to take breaks, take break, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes break, and then 15 minutes, 10 minutes break. You can do that. Okay? But make sure that don't make that 10 minutes break go for 1 hour. Okay? It should be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yes.
Why did you choose anthropology as a
Yes, yes.
Why did you choose anthropology as
So simple answer is to get marks. Yeah. So I found it to be very interesting. Okay, I went through syllabus and I found it to be very interesting. Coming from engineering background, I thought I'll take some science subject. So I found anthropology to be a mix of science and arts. Okay. So we have physical anthropology, we have socio-cultural anthropology. So that made me very interesting into it. So I found it very interesting. And I'm also interested into the tribal life and all. So anthropology deals with tribal life as well. So that's how I found it very interesting. Okay. We'll take one last question, anyone? Okay then, let's call it a day. Thank you.
You all enjoyed the session? I would like to thank our guest speaker today, Shashikant sir. He was kind enough to come to the academy, share his thoughts on the examination. Thank you, sir. I hope you found the students interesting.
It was mine interacting with all the students,
Great.
very ambitious.
Yes, yes.